This is Shannonville Motorsport Park near Belleville, Ontario, at site of the Castrol National Superbike Series, the season in review. Hello, everybody. I'm Pat Gonzalez, and welcome to the Castrol National Superbike Series wrap-up show. With me, as always, Craig Hill of Castrol Canada. And Craig, the season so far has been one of outstanding performances, some disappointments and surprises.
Well, I think the most pleasant surprise of all, Pat, has been the outright domination of the Weldrite Kawasaki team this year and Port Coquitlam's Steve Crevier. This guy has been absolutely outstanding right up until today. And today being the 6th round, who knows? Maybe he's going to walk away with a perfect season.
Well, in the next half hour, we'll take a look back at the previous 5 Superbike rounds and also have coverage of this 6th and final event where Steve Crevier tries to complete the perfect season.
Round 1 began with the combined U.S.-Canadian event that saw a mix of unlimited displacement motorcycles battling against the Canadian Superbikes. And winning his first pole position of the year was Steve Crevier. But beside him was Michael Martin on the 1300cc Monster Suzuki. And here's how Pat and I viewed the race.
The starting lights on green, the field away, the charge to turn 1. And now we go on board with Benoit Pilon, the Sony Handycam, putting us in the middle of this battle for the lead in the early going up the straightaway to turn number 2. Here comes Ruben McMurder, number 24. Late braking, he'll take the lead. Crevier goes underneath of McMurder, and he'll push the Kawasaki out in front. So a lot of positions being swapped around here early. Crevier going to the front. McMurder, number 24. Oh, and a crash. Mike Taylor, number 15, has crashed going into the Sterling Moss Carousel. Crevier, your race leader, 24. McMurder in second, 28. Jeff Gaynor on the Suzuki is third. And then 26 in fourth is Lindley Clark. There's 96. Michael Martin. It looks like he's running into mechanical problems with the big Suzuki 1300.
Well, the development that's taken place over the winter on Crevier's bike has really showed up, Pat. He's pulled out a tremendous lead right off the bat.
Al Salaveria on that number 22. Aprilia is all over Ruben McMurder for second place as they go into turn number 2, and we've got a great fight as well for the 4th place position between 163 Benoit Pilon. There goes Salaveria around McMurder to move up the second. McMurder drops the third, and there's 71. Joe Pittman on the Yamaha, one of the Wera Formula USA riders. He'll move up the 4th. Pilon, 163 on the Yamaha, drops to 5th.
There's the race order with Crevier leading, followed by Salaveria, McMurder, Pittman, and Pilon. Then in 6th, it's Clark, followed by Graves, Hall, Tripodi, and Himmelsbach.
Steve Crevier, your race leader, into the hairpin. He has opened up quite a commanding lead. There is the new second place rider, Salaveria. Oh, and McMurder, number 24, has crashed. Going through the hairpin, the motorcycle sliding off the racetrack. McMurder trying to get up now. He's favoring the right wrist. Oh, and 404. Jeff Robb, the rookie, has crashed his Kawasaki in the hairpin. There must be some oil on the racetrack. Oh, Chuck Graves, number 24, has also fallen along with Lindley Clark.
And Pat, we've got a red flag. We've got a red flag out. They'll have to restart this, and I'm sure that Ruben McMurder will not be part of that restart.
In at turn number 1, Chuck Graves, number 24, grabs the early lead. Graves, who had problems yesterday in the qualifying heat, started in the back, was involved in that incident in the hairpin that brought out the red flag. But here on the restart, Chuck Graves, the current Wera Formula USA points leader, has gone to the front aboard this Monster Suzuki. Into the carousel, the American rider Graves running out front. There goes Crevier as he has moved around the 26 machine of Lindley Clark to take over the second place position. So Graves leading on that number 24 Suzuki. Crevier, though, closing now. Clark, number 26 on the Yamaha, runs back in third. Here's Steve Crevier. He'll go for the lead on the inside of Graves, and he'll take that lead as they go through the double apex left-hander at turn 6. Steve Crevier going right back out in front. After this event was red flagged as a result of the McMurder crash. Steve Crevier coming out of the final turn to the start-finish line. There's the checkered flag, and he will win this opening round.
So that's how round 1 was concluded, with Steve Crevier winning 2 points for the heat race and 15 for the feature. Steve now had a 5-point lead over Benoit Pilon, with Superbike rookie Steve Wykes taking 10 points for 3rd place. The next race was at Calgary's Race City Speedway, and we'll be back with the highlights of that right after this. Welcome back to the Castrol Series Wrap-Up Show. I'm Craig Hill along with Pat Gonzalez as we relive the 92 Superbike Series. Our second event was at Calgary, and once again, Steve Crevier was on the pole.
Calgary included a new short chicane on the back straight that was of concern for some and almost impossible for others.
And it was here that ex-Canadian champion Ruben McMurder announced his retirement, and also where number 15, Michael Taylor, stunned the crowd with a brilliant heat race finish.
The Canadian flag in hand, it is waved, the field off the line, and now we begin that long run down the drag strip straightaway to turn one. Benoit Pilon with the early lead, but the Sony Handycam takes us on board with Steve Crevier as he just blows right by the Yamaha and takes the lead as they go to turn one. Steve Crevier, who won the Sunoco Gold pole position here yesterday in the heat race, charging to the front. 163, Benoit Pilon second, then is number 15, Michael Taylor running third. And there is Crevier. He has been so dominant so far this year, taking the early lead. Pilon 163 on the Yamaha in second. Number 15, Michael Taylor trying to move up. Taylor is all over Pilon. And then it is 28, Jeff Gaynor on the Suzuki running in fourth. And number 26, Lindley Clark in fifth as they come down the back straightaway. Here's Taylor on the inside of Pilon, and he will muscle his way through into second place. Beautiful job of outbreaking Pilon going into that little chicane. They're out onto the back straightaway. There's a four-way fight going on for second. 28, Gaynor is in the thick of this battle, along with 26, Lindley Clark. Crevier still leads.
Well, Pat, let's go back. That was an amazing pass by Michael Taylor over this man, Benoit Pilon, at the chicane. Here's another look at it from Pilon's viewpoint. Taylor just crunched the edge of the racetrack there and flew by Pilon under braking. What a great move.
And now Taylor starting to put some distance between his Kawasaki and Pilon's Yamaha. Now Pilon coming under pressure from Jeff Gaynor on the Suzuki Canada machine. Discovered after the race that Pilon had a sticky throttle and was unable to shift properly throughout the event.
Well, there was nothing wrong with Crevier's performance as he took his second win in a row. Steve now had a 16-point lead over Pilon, with Lindley Clark on the Yamaha in third, and moving up to fourth was Michael Taylor, who after falling off in round one, finished second at Calgary.
Round three, the Kawasaki Superbike Challenge was back at Shannonville Motorsport Park, and all the green hats were up.
From Kawasaki, Yamaha, and Suzuki. But for Steve Crevier, this was his third pole position in 3 races, and his competitors were getting tired of seeing the back end of Steve's motorcycle. And here's how we called the race.
The lights on green at Shannonville, the field off the line to charge into turn one, and it is 26, Lindley Clark, who will grab the early lead. Crevier battling right in there along with Gaynor, number 28. Here comes Crevier late braking on Gaynor. Yes, and Crevier will go through into the second place position. Number 26, Lindley Clark, still your leader. Crevier now up into second. 28, Gaynor on the Suzuki is third, and then 15, Michael Taylor on the second of the Kawasaki's runs back in the fourth place position. The riders out of the hairpin onto the long back straightaway here at Shannonville, and Crevier has picked up the draft of Lindley Clark's Yamaha. Crevier late braking in at turn 11, and yes, he'll push the Kawasaki out in front. Crevier muscling his way around Lindley Clark for the lead.
And we got red flags all over the place, Pat. Johnny Ramsey has crashed the McMurder Honda as it started to rain lately. John's race has ended for sure. He's a bit dazed, but otherwise okay. That's a tough break for the Nova Scotia resident. That's very near to the spot where Ruben McMurder ended his career on the same RC30 during round number 1.
A light rain falling here at Shannonville as Steve Crevier has gone back out in front on the restart. 26, Lindley Clark holding on to that second place position. Michael Taylor runs third on the second of the Kawasaki's. Just a couple of bike lengths separating Crevier and Lindley Clark as they come through turn number 9 of the SS. Clark all over Crevier into the hairpin. Lindley Clark on the inside, and he will take the lead out onto the back straightaway. Clark by just a bike length.
Well, Crevier came in a little hot, Pat, and that's the first time Steve Crevier has been passed while leading in the last 3 championship Superbike races.
Lindley Clark, your new leader, off the end of the back straightaway, but just a couple of bike lengths separating him and Steve Crevier as they come into Allen's corner. Crevier late braking will close up to within a bike length and a half. Lindley Clark on the Yamaha, your race leader. Crevier on the Kawasaki, second and 15. Taylor in third. 76, Mario Duhamel running fourth. 28, Jeff Gaynor is fifth. And 163, Benoit Pilot on his Yamaha runs back in the sixth place position. Here's Crevier, again late braking at the top of the straightaway going into turn two. And Crevier puts the Kawasaki back out in front. These two riders very equally matched as they continue the war for the lead and all. Clark, number 26, is off the racetrack. Lindley Clark just appeared to lock it up. He may have blown the motor on the Yamaha. Here's Crevier to the line. Checkered flag. He will win his third race of the year.
So Steve Crevier raised his hand in victory for the third time in as many races, and in doing so catapulted his Weldrite Kawasaki team into an almost insurmountable lead.
And Steve was now on his way to his second consecutive Superbike championship.
Next stop, Shubenacadie, Nova Scotia, and we'll be back with more of the 92 wrap-up after this. Welcome back to our 92 Castrol wrap-up show. Round number 4 of this 6-race series was under sunny skies at Atlantic Motorsport Park in Nova Scotia. The hard-charging East Coast competitors, led by John Ramsey, were ready to give the out-of-town province riders a taste of Down East hospitality by grabbing the best and leaving the rest.
But this man, Steve Crevier, had other thoughts, and he and the Weldrite Kawasaki team won their fourth pole position in a row. And we asked Steve Crevier what factors had led to his domination of the Superbike Series.
Well, I believe the winning factor with Steve Crevier and Team Kawasaki has been the Weldrite race team. Harold Surian and I and the rest of the team, we've been working real hard at just trying to use our head. We're going into every race organized, as in the past we haven't been so organized. This year the result of the winning has been from organization, and team meetings have brought that on, and we just feel really together this year. You know, and when you're organized and everybody's happy, things work out really well.
Well, for Crevier, it couldn't have been better, with 3 wins in 3 races, but the competition was hungry. And here's how Pat Gonzalez called this feature race.
The riders off the line, charging it at turn 1, and now we go on board with Benoit Pilot. Pilot looking for the pass up to the outside. He won't get it. Out of turn 1, they head downhill into the hairpin, and it's 28, Jeff Gaynor with the lead. 99, Johnny Ramsey up into that second place position, and Ramsey will take the lead as he just blasts right around the Suzuki of Jeff Gaynor. Steve Crevier running back in that 4th place position, and now as they head up into the roller coaster, Crevier side by side, no. 26, Lindley Clark will hold on to that 3rd place position. 99, Johnny Ramsey, your race leader. Here comes Crevier, and number 26, Lindley Clark battling for 2nd. 28, Jeff Gaynor has been shuffled back into the 4th place position. Steve Crevier all over Lindley Clark for that 2nd place spot as they run out of the hairpin.
Well, in the meantime, there's Ramsey trying to stretch out a lead and get some kind of cushion between himself and Crevier.
Crevier takes the lead as they went up into the roller coaster. Crevier putting the Kawasaki around the Yamaha of Lindley Clark. Oh, an 88 Clyde McDonald has crashed in the middle of the racetrack. He appears to be okay. Here comes Crevier closing on Johnny Ramsey side by side off the end of the back straightaway, and Crevier takes the lead. They're still wheel to wheel, and Crevier, yes, will hang on to that top spot. Ramsey went battling back, but it is Crevier who goes to the front. Ramsey in 2nd, 26, oh, and number 15, Mike Taylor has crashed in turn 4. There's the checkered flag. Crevier wins it.
And with that win, Steve Crevier wrapped up the 92 Castrol National Superbike title. His total dominance of the field was spelled out in the point standings as it became more and more apparent that Crevier owned superbike racing in Canada.
The 5th round of the Superbike Series moved into Quebec to St. Eustache and the Dumontan circuit.
And as usual, Steve Crevier grabbed the 2 championship points for his win in the heat race. The question was, could he dominate on this short, twisty track?
The riders off the line, the charge to turn number 1. Benoit Pilot, 163. Lindley Clark, number 26, side by side. And Pilot will take the lead as they go through turn 1. 26, Clark in 2nd. 99, Johnny Ramsey 3rd. And then it is Steve Crevier, number 1, running back in the 4th place position. Crevier carrying our onboard Sony Handycam. These are consumer products that have been mounted inside of the fairing on Crevier's machine that'll keep us right in the thick of the battle. And now we go on board. Steve Crevier takes third place, and the Sony Cam taking us right with Steve Crevier as he moves up into that third place spot.
Well, these little cameras have really done us a chore over the past year or so, Pat. They've been outstanding products because we've had them mounted on motorcycles that have been thrown away, and the cameras keep right on working. So I'm pretty pleased with the pictures we get off of them.
Crevier side by side with Lindley Clark, and he'll take over that second place position. So, and we've got a crash. 99, Johnny Ramsey has crashed in the carousel. Ramsey is up and appears to be okay, but that is it for the McMurdo Racing Honda. Here's Crevier. He'll take the lead at the end of the back straightaway, moving around Benoit Pilon and Mario Duhamel. A late braking move off the end of the back straightaway. Duhamel just riding the wheels off of his Honda will take over that second place position. And of course, Honda rumored to have a brand new 750 to replace the RC30 next year. And now we look at the battle between the two Yamahas. Oh, and number 26, Lindley Clark has moved around Benoit Pilon to take over that spot. And of course, Yamaha also rumored to have a brand new 750 for next year that'll replace this Yamaha OW01. The Racing Superb up here. Duhamel on the inside of Taylor will take over that third place position. 26 Clark holding on to second. Then it's Duhamel, and then it's number 15 Mike Taylor, and running back in the fifth place spot is Benoit Pilon. Steve Crevier, your race leader, running well out in front. Now the battle for second, and again Duhamel, Craig, battling around Clark. He'll take over second.
Well, Duhamel's a very experienced rider, Pat. This guy's been running endurance races in Europe, and his brother, of course, is running 500cc machines in Europe. So he comes from a motorcycle family, and this kid knows how to ride really well.
Duhamel going through along with Taylor, then 26 Clark, and then Pilon 163. 28 Jeff Gaynor just in back on the Suzuki Canada. That's the new liquid-cooled machine. There's Mike Taylor now. He has moved around Duhamel. Taylor up into second on the Kawasaki, then Duhamel, then the Yamahas of 26 Clark and 163 Benoit Pilon.
Well, Crevier leads, but a great effort by the Toronto rider Taylor to get around a very aggressive Duhamel, with Clark in fourth and Pilon trailing in fifth.
We're on the last lap. Steve Crevier out of the final turn. Checkered flag at the line. He wins it.
So Steve Crevier made it a clean sweep. 5 races, 5 poles, 5 wins. Mike Taylor advanced his point standings with a solid second place, and Clark found his way around Duhamel to take third and edged his way up to 1 point behind a faltering Pilon in the championship.
And we'll return with the final race of the series from Shannonville Motorsport Park after this. Welcome back to the Castrol National Superbike Series wrap-up show. I'm Pat Gonzalez along with Craig Hill as we get set to complete our look back at the excitement and drama that made up the 1992 motorcycle road racing season.
Round number 6, the Suzuki Challenge, took place at Shannonville Motorsport Park, and it featured a shootout between the new number 1 plate holder Steve Crevier and AMA Superbike frontrunner Pascal Picot.
Team manager Araldo Ferracci brought his rising star along with 2 Ducati 888s to see if they could put a stop to the Weldrite Kawasaki dominance.
And even though Crevier won his 6th pole position in as many races, everyone felt it would provide little advantage as Picot lined up next to him.
Off the start, the charge to turn 1, Picot 34, but it'll be Mike Taylor, number 15 on the Kawasaki, who grabs the lead. 26, Lindley Clark in second. Here comes Picot, number 34, side by side into turn number 2, and Taylor will hold on to the lead, but just barely. Picot moves underneath of Lindley Clark to take over second, and now the Sony Handicap taking us on board with Steve Crevier as he will move around Lindley Clark to take over the third place spot. Through the carousel here at Shannonville, Crevier in that third place position trying to chase down Picot, and now on the back straightaway, 34, Pascal Picot pushes the Ducati out in front. Here comes Crevier.
But this year with my Ducati, I have to prove myself and win.
Pascal Picot still in contention for the winners. We go through Allen's corner. It's Steve Crevier on the Kawasaki leading, and as good as Crevier has been and as fast as this Kawasaki has been, There's apparently a brand new ZX-7 underway for next year, and there goes Piquet on the inside. He will retake the lead as the Ducati just powers by on the straightaway. And again, the Sony Handycam taking us on board Crevier's Kawasaki as he goes back around Piquet to reestablish the lead. And this has been some of the best Superbike action. And oh, Steve Mckissock has ended his race in the mud at the end of the back straightaway. Tough break for the rookie Mckissock. Again, back into turn one. Again, Piquet retakes the lead. And these two riders battling back and forth. Crevier on the inside of Piquet into turn two. And he'll push the Kawasaki back out in front.
Well, Crevier's really got that corner dialed in, and I think it's just track knowledge that produces that kind of move. Piquet hasn't seen Shannonville for over a year, and Crevier has raced here throughout '92.
You saw Lindley Clark running in third, followed by Pilon Taylor. You know, Clark needs to finish third in order to pick up the second place Castro Points Fund money.
There's Lindley Clark now. It took the team a little longer than expected to get competitive this year, but tuner Rick Hobbs has the Yamaha running well now.
While both Pascal Piquet and Steve Crevier have been extremely competitive throughout 1992, and across the line into turn one, Piquet takes the lead. We're on the last lap, and Pascal Piquet has moved around Steve Crevier. They head up the straightaway to turn two. Crevier looking for the pass on the inside. Piquet will hold him off. They're just about side by side.
Well, I gotta wonder whether Crevier's got enough left in that Kawasaki to get by Piquet. He's certainly trying, but he hasn't got much time left now, Pat.
Those two riders out of the carousel. We look a little bit further back. Benoit Pilon, 163, runs in fourth. Mike Taylor on the Kawasaki is fifth, and oh, Pilon got into a little bit of a slide, and Mike Taylor will move around to grab fourth. There is your second place rider, Steve Crevier. He has won the previous 5 Superbike races this year, and this may be the end of his winning streak here at Shannonville. Crevier trailing the two